Welcome back to S.WigginsTV. As always, this your host, Worldwide Wiggins. And man, I got a special guest, man. You already know. This OG right here needs no introduction, you feel me? All the Rollin 20 neighborhood bloods, man, from California to Georgia to where I'm at in Florida, man. You heard of him, you feel me? If you don't know him personally, you damn sure heard of him, man. Please give it up. You know what I'm saying? And all you 20s out there in Miami, you know you're going to be happy. And you're welcome. Please give it up for Mad Ronald from Rollin 20 Neighborhood Bloods. How you feeling, OG?
I'm all right considering the circumstances, man. You know what I mean? I'm just getting this time done day by day, man. You know my circumstance. I'm out here in Georgia. I was charged with the RICO Act in 2020. You know, I was actually targeted. So they got me incarcerated here like as a political prisoner and shit and stuff. You know what I mean? 'Cause basically, I ain't committed no crime and ain't done nothing to be in jail. You know what I'm saying? They just came at me. I found myself facing an all-white jury of 12 Confederate Caucasians and had to take the deal. Otherwise, I'd be looking at 40 years, which would be the rest of my life sitting in prison in Georgia.
Oh, man, that's crazy, man. Whew, that's a wild one, man, but I'm glad you feel me. You keeping a positive outlook, bro. A positive mind, man. You'll be out of there soon, bro. Believe me, man. I thank you for taking the time out, bro. I'm praying the best for you, Army, for sure.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
For sure. Now, first things first, man, Ronald. Give them your social media and where they can find you at.
I can be found on Instagram at mad_Ronald_radio_podcast. I can be found on YouTube at Mad Ronald Radio Podcast. And I can be found on TikTok at Mad Ronald Radio Podcast. Also, if all else fails, you can find me. You can go to social media or you can go to Google and you can just type in hoodwire.tv. And that's my website. And that's also some of my social media also.
Oh yeah, you ain't playing. All right, for sure. That's what's up. Yup. All right, Matt Ronald, man. You know you a legend. We ain't got too much time, bro, but you know, let's get some history, bro. Like, how did Matt Ronald get, affiliated with the Doves?
Man, I got three brothers, man. I've been a member of Rollin 20 since 1976. I grew up in the 20s, man. I'm original West Side neighborhood before neighborhood blood. I was a member of NH. I'm part of the first generation that put that B on NH.
Wow.
That was a decision that was made between that decision. We had to be realistic with you, I can remember the conversations and I can remember going back then when we had the conversation because, you know, who the family came out of the twins also. And there was once a conversation about being neighborhood family because there was two sets. There was neighborhood and there was Hoover family.
Right.
So there was a conversation once about being neighborhood families because of Hoover families being so close to us. Then there was also once a conversation about being neighborhood brothers. I can remember these conversations because when I was a kid, I remember we used to go up the brim sign because you know our hand sign is pinky and the thumb, right?
Right.
But when I was a kid, when I was young, I remember we used to go up the brim sign and say that meant neighborhood was number one because we thought our hand sign was number one in the Midwest. But we had a conversation even about being neighborhood brims. But what happened was that we took it to the root of what we came from initially because of the fact that our neighborhood, and contrary to what others believe about us being Hoover family before it was neighborhood, we came from Blood Alley. Blood Alley was the area north of the Santa Monica Freeway around Cordova, near the Rosedale Cemetery. And that's where our neighborhood originated, north of the freeway. I'm part of the generation that was brought across the freeway, south of the freeway, across Adams Boulevard, west of Normandy.
Oh.
So when I first moved in the region, I lived in, it was kind of a gumbo pot of groups because you had like I said, you had the families down there, you had Hoover family, you had neighborhood, you even had the Black Peace Stones down there, and then right across 29th Street is Harvard Kirk, which is one block from where I lived at. So you had a gumbo mix of different groups down there, but at those times it was different because socially everybody dealt with each other differently too because people knew each other because we were so close and so early in the inception of the gangs.
For sure. Wow. That's dope. That's real history right there. All right. Now, OG, when I brought up Mad Ronald to certain people, they got a list of things. I ain't even got enough time for the stuff they want me to ask you, but they want me to ask you about a certain brother. I definitely did a story on named Santa Claus. You remember him?
Yeah, I knew Santa Claus.
Okay, can you tell us some things about Santa Claus, not incriminating that we may not know?
Well, Santa Claus was a homie, man. I'm gonna tell you what somebody remember about Santa Claus. The real, honest, truly real Santa Claus was a storyteller. And I swear to you, man, I was in Solidad State Prison with Santa Claus, man, back in 1987. And Santa Claus, one thing about him, he could tell a story, man. And Santa Claus, I ain't gonna say he wouldn't lie. Santa Claus would tell a lie, but it'll make you sound so good in that lie that you ain't gonna interrupt him on that lie. He was somebody, man, that when it came to art storytelling, man, he was somebody that literally could tell. I've seen him. He could tell a story. I saw Santa Claus with all the blood sitting around on the yard in Solidad, and Santa Claus was telling the stories, and he made me sound so good. I can't call him a liar in the middle of the story, but he got everybody else sitting around doing this. Then what, Claus? Then what?
Oh, for sure. That's what's up. All right. Hey, you know what? You know what, bro? Like, a lot of people, and I'm happy we spoke off air, man. A lot of people don't know, as much as you would stop down, you feel me, OG, on the streets of LA, you definitely, made some peace connections with the 30s and all that. Kind of talk about the positive impact you had, you feel me, on the streets of LA.
To be realistic with you, man, I'm OG member of Rollin Neighborhood Blood, man. I'm a first generation member of NHB. But at the same time, man, I'm 56 years old, man. Considering my age, I'm too old to be in the street being a fool. I've been a fool for a long time, and I had to get my life together. But at the same time, I also understand that I impacted a lot of other people's lives because of my level of influence and what it's been for so long and how negative it was. As I grew older, man, I started coming to realizations that I got to do something better, not only for myself but for my community too. When the '92, when the word, that was the first time I ever heard of peace. I wanted to be a part of the peace movement, but I never could because I never understood how to. I thought I had to be a member of some group or something of that nature. I didn't understand that it came from within myself and from within what I carry with me. Because peace comes from within the man himself. It don't come from the environment. The man introduced the environment to peace.
Right.
So basically, when I got into that, people started drawing to me when I was really, really serious about it, when I really got into it. So basically, I started having collaborations. I remember when I used to go down to meetings. I graduated from the Stop the Violence Foundation in 2001 with Khalid Shaw, Mr. Khalid Shaw and Naeem Shaw. Those are my facilitators there. But at the same time, I met people there, and we was communicating. I was in there with dudes like P.D. Wack in the 60s. I was in there with like Harlem Rob in the 30s. I was in there with Ricochet, Inglewood Family, Snipe, P.J. Watts. All of us got along. And we all wanted the same thing. We all wanted to better the conditions in the communities that we came from. We had common ground. As black men, we understood one thing about all this here, that all of us fight, even though it's red and blue. The only one taking the loss is black.
Right.
So we came to those type of understanding. I went back to prison in '06. When I got out in '06, and I was involved in moving in, my homeboy Skip Townsend, he was heavily involved. Skip is an interesting story because of the fact that I remember back then, you hear me calling into the radio station in the morning, and I was talking about gang intervention and peace. And this was like in 2000 or around that time. And Skip would always pass me in the tow truck. And he'd be like, Ronald, I'm going to get with you, man. I'm going to get with you. I'm going to come get with you, man. I heard you on the radio. I'm going to get with you. And then, you know what I mean? I was like, okay. But he'll see me. I was out the street selling dope then. I used to be in the hood selling dope back then. But then I went back to prison in '06. When I got out in '08, man, Skip had established second call. So through Skip, I really started making a lot of connections with a lot of people. Skip is doing some phenomenal work, and I can't take nothing from him. He done some phenomenal work in the community. You know what I'm saying? And Skip called me in 2009. In 2009, I received a call, a text message from Skip. He said, we're having a meeting tomorrow, and they want you to attend. No, he said, we're having a meeting with the 30s tomorrow, and they want you to attend. I was like, they want me to attend. I'm looking You know what I mean? I showed up to the meeting. Man, I went to the meeting the next day. It was in Westchester, right? Man, I walked in the room, man. This is real deal Harlem Bricks in the room. These ain't no, you know what I'm saying? This ain't like these little funny dudes that's on the sideline, sideline politicking. These is real deal frontline characters with names in the room. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I see these dudes in the room. These some of the same dudes that I used to get into it with when I was active on the front line. So, we all recognize each other, knew who each other was, and we have respect for one another, because we all, once again, understood that even though it's red and blue, the only ones taking losses here are black. Right. So, basically, we came to terms of understanding. We met. And we came to a term of understanding. Leave us alone, we'll leave y'all alone. Don't come down here messing with us. We ain't down there messing with y'all. Right. Don't write on our walls. We ain't gonna write on your wall. Here's my phone. Here's our phone numbers. We got your phone numbers. If there's anything that transpires that takes place, we will call y'all and y'all can rectify the problem. Same thing, vice versa. If one of our people is on your side and they keeping this going, see what I'm saying? Because the reality of it is, we was all working to enhance the quality of life for the people among us, not for ourselves. Because of the fact that it's easy to walk away, but it's hard to be in the mix and try to clean up the mess that you made, because it takes management. So once we did that right there, we came to a greater understanding. There was somewhat better levels of stability, because in '09, one of the reasons that it had called the meeting called for was that there was a shooting. It was a gang-related shooting. So, you know what I mean? That was the last one that I remembered, actually, between the 20s and the 30s in '09, before I came to prison in 2020. But the guys who was in the room, I really 100% had to get them. I don't want to call no names out, but that 100% commend those dudes. The Crips who was in the room with me, I commend them. Because those were men, and they were men of their words. And they stuck to 100%. We saw each other on the sidelines, and you know what I mean, at events and stuff like that, their community events. And we all talked on all this here, on the sidelines during the course of time after we all came to these agreements. We talked sometimes some people would talk on the phone. I found myself working for the Los Angeles Mayor's Office of Gang Reduction and Youth Development, and my co-workers were some of them, because I worked in the office for the Mayor's Office of Gang Reduction and Youth Development. My co-workers was from Rollin 40 Neighborhood Crip and from Rollin 30 Harlem Crip. And it was me and it was my homeboy. And we had an area to manage ourselves. And our job was to maintain peace, keep peace, do proactive peacekeeping. Then at the same time, we went to the schools and we dealt with the problematic dudes, kids at the school. I hate to say kids, but problematic kids at the school who was going through problems, and we had to go for gang-related situations, you name it, we was on it. Then at the same time, we was like, I'm not going to say a first responder, but second responders, because when someone got killed in our community, they called Grid out. Grid comes out, it's gang-related. Grid has to do a report on the shooting. We don't have to do a report as far as giving up information and identities and talking about the crime was committed, but we would have to do a report based upon information given to us by law enforcement, because of the fact that everybody recognized Grid, because Grid worked for the city. Grid is a city job. It's just a contract. I was through Volunteers of America with the contract, but it was with the city of Los Angeles, because it was with the mayor's office. So basically, like I had a little homie who was murdered, and I had to come out to the scene. I had to be I had to come out to the scene. I had to be the one out here. I got to talk. When the Grid worker's job, first and foremost, I got to talk stability to my homeboy, because they ready to go and kill something. So I got to talk them into standing down. I got to go to the police and find out what's going on. I'm the Grid worker from the mayor's office. They recognize me because I got the Grid ID on, so they're going to tell me what's going on. I got to go back to my people and articulate to them what's going on, because of the fact the first thing they're going to say is, these dudes killed one of us. You know what I'm saying? Right. But then again, they don't know. So one of the first things that we have to do is call rumor control. The rumor control was simply based upon the fact that we want all the misinformation out of the air. So therefore, see, our job is never to find out who committed a crime. Because a lot of people say, well, okay, y'all talk to the police or whatever. Y'all snitching and they doing this, they doing that, right? But the number one thing with Grid is this. The Grid, our job was never to figure out who solved the crime and none of that there. Our job was to figure out who did not have nothing to do with it. So that way, when we talk to our people, we can say, hey, no, man, it wasn't these dudes over here. Don't go shoot that neighborhood up. Don't go kill no innocent people over here. Right. You understand what I mean? Right. We're capable of being able to, you know what don't like the stool here because of this, because of that, right? But you wasn't even around when this and that happened, and you didn't even know the guy that was hurt.
True.
You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, there's room for evolution start because of the fact that we don't do better, man. We don't do better, man. We'll be extinct in a little while. They don't have black people in museums talking about how aggressive we were. We so aggressive that we wiped ourselves out. You know, I mean, and that's just a crazy reality right there.
Right. For sure. All right. I appreciate that, man. People needed to hear that. All right, now, OG, can you briefly? We ain't got much time left. I got a couple more questions, but when you transition from LA to Georgia, respectfully, you know what I'm saying? What did you notice about the Bloods out there? Was they dominating different? Was they programmed different? How did you adapt?
It's much different because of the fact that LA, we're indoctrinated. It's our way of life. It's our culture. You know, this thing in LA with us is the way it's like we're born. A lot of us are born into this. I've been a member since I was 8 years old, so my brain is just like a gang computer. You know, I process everything and understand and can read the unwritten, read what ain't written on the walls. You know what I'm saying? Out here it's kind of different because I'm gonna tell you the number one thing. In Los Angeles, we don't choose our neighborhoods. See, in Los Angeles, we don't choose our community because we live in the communities, and the communities are places our parents chose to move to, not us.
Yeah.
So we became prisoners within those communities when we ourselves chose to be a part of the gang politic that exists in those communities.
Right.
Out here it's different, just like on the East Coast, because people get to choose where they want to be from. See, living in Los Angeles, you go to a house and see a bunch of brothers. Like I said, I got 3 brothers. All me and my brothers, Crazy B, Lil Crazy B, and K-Ray. All of us from the same neighborhood. We all lived at the same address on the same block. That's a major difference compared to living in a place where people are choosing groups, because you might go in a house out here and it might be one brother might be a blood, one brother might be a cripple, one brother might be a gangster disciple, because they chose what they wanted to be. You understand what I mean? Rather than because it's not so geographical. And that right there means everything, because I always say that every nation has got to have a country. And I consider gangs to be sovereign nations because of all the levels of politics to go with them besides Los Angeles and how territorial they are.
For sure. All right, respect. I respect that, bro. All right. Another thing we discussed, man. My boy Mad Rock from Watergate. I heard you was locked up with him, man, and it was 4 Bloods and 50 Crips on the yard.
I was in Solano with him, but I never had words with him. I remember him though. I remember him when I was there. I never had words with him. I was in Solano with him back in 1988, I think it was. Man, to be realistic, man, it was only a couple of us on the yard. And when I came to the yard with a red flag on my head, so all the Crips knew what was blood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was gangbanging time, so that's how we rolled. You know what I mean? But I remember him from being on the yard. I remember him there, but we never had his word. Plus, at the same time, see, you got to remember something. The Watergate is so far away that they're not on my radar.
Right.
You know that's you talking about
way in the
hundred. You talking 150 something blocks away, maybe. You talking about a good distance.
Yeah.
You talking about another city. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, real talk. But how was that? Like, seeing as y'all was outnumbered, how was that? 4 y'all versus 50 of them? Like, how was it, bro?
Well, it's about respect, man. People gonna respect you. If you real about what you real about, people gonna respect you, your reality. And that's number one. You a man. I was always taught I gotta be a man before I was a blood. And that's what I was taught. But when I went to prison, I got my homeboy. I remember before I went to prison, my homeboy KD Smile Laws told me. He said that you gotta make it wherever they put you. And I swear I live by that, man. So wherever I landed at, whatever prison I landed in, whatever the circumstances and conditions is, I gotta survive here. So the one thing about it is that people respect the fact that if you're gonna stay down for your crown. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the ones that ain't real. It's the ones that ain't real that had a problem. It ain't the real dudes.
Right. For sure. I dig that. All right, and one more thing I was gonna ask you, man. Shoot, you know, the there's two twenties. You got the neighborhood and the outlaws in L.A. So, is it any I want to make sure I ask it the right way. Like, are you guys united, or is it kind of like they over there on the east? Are you like to this day?
We are, okay, I'm going to give it to you like this here. We are tight. NAB Rolling 20s. Our tight neighborhoods, we're tight with the Blackstones.
Yeah.
We're tight with the Browns. We tight with the Outlaws. We tight with the neighborhood Pyroos. We tight with the Bloodstone Villains. And who else? We tight with the low bottoms. Just all those low bottom blood sets, we tight with them. All the blood sets off the low bottom, we tight with them. The Outlaws we especially are tight with because we all rolling 20s. And a lot of us, you know what I mean, throughout time in history. See, this is the thing about me, man. I come from the east side originally. My father, when he came to Los Angeles in 68, we lived in the east side 20s. I lived in the east side 20s for a long time, man. Even when I was grown, I went to Jefferson High School. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
Outlaws, we have a report just the same as shit east side. We say ins and outs. That's how us, the west side and the east side rolling 20s. We say ins and outs, the neighborhood and outlaws.
For sure. Oh, that's dope. For sure. All right. There you go. All right, man. man, Ronald, man. I know they gonna ask for a part two, man, and I appreciate your time, man. So hopefully, if you down, it should be coming soon, man. All right, you got it here first, man. Ronald, 20 Bloods.
I'm available, man. I'm available, man. I'm for part two, man. I mean, like I said, man, I ain't got nothing better to do, man. I'm sitting up in here stuck right now. You know what I mean? I'm just here, man. I'm just hanging. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, man, I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity, man, to do an interview with you because of the fact that, people been hearing things, you know what I mean, and they don't even know what they're talking about. I hear people saying that, like, for instance, they talking about how somebody snitched on me and this and this. Nobody snitched on me on this case. I was targeted by the GDI. I was targeted by the state of Georgia, the Attorney General. I was targeted by some of the highest politicians in this state right here. I wasn't in the streets involved in no crime. I don't carry no guns. I don't sell no drugs. I'm out in the community as an advocate, and at the same time, I'm out here as an intervention worker and a peacekeeper. But I was targeted because of the fact that there's one thing I come to the realization of, that within the eyes of the bureaucracy and the eyes of the system, you will never be able to attach anything good to the words blood or crip. I wouldn't care if you go to downtown LA and feed everybody in downtown LA and give them all $1,000 a piece. They still ain't, and you send them blood, they ain't gonna make that a good thing. They're gonna find a means and a way to make that a means of corruption. As a matter of fact, I just sent you two links.
Yeah.
Two links. You got them, right?
Yep.
Okay. Check those links out, and you see more about what I'm talking about, because I sent you the link to the press conference and everything that they had when they arrested me. And when they arrested me, they had a press conference. You got the governor, you got the attorney general, you got the head of the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, you got all these politicians. They were all in attendance at this press conference. The coldest thing in the world was that they arrested me 7 days before the presidential election in 2020, when all that crazy stuff was going on out here in Georgia. See, that's what I'm saying. My case was political, very political. They pushed me out in the front and made me public enemy number one. Well, I ain't shot nobody. I ain't sold no drugs. I ain't had a criminal conversation. You check them links out. And one thing about all this is that you see that press conference, if they had a crime on me with all these people and all these cameras, the number one thing they're gonna do is start talking about my crimes. And this is the way this is going. This is the way this is going. So if you don't have no money, you really don't stand a chance because the RICO is based upon conspiracy and technicality. They can take a conversation and build a RICO case around it. But at the same time, like I said, the number one thing, they will try to convict you because of your associations and your affiliations. And that's basically what they will do. You know what I'm saying? So my word to everybody, man, is people got to wake up and get smart, man, because of the fact the same way they came and got me, they kidnapped me. They brought an army of officers to come and get me. LAPD, Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, they brought the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, Gang Task Force, and the Federal Bureau of Investigations to arrest me. And when they extradited me out here. They ambushed me in front of my building. They ambushed me in front of my building, coming out of my apartment building. Now, if they sent all this manpower for me, and I have not committed a crime, can you imagine what they're going to do to the people that's out there committing crimes?
Right.
When I arrived in the jail in Upson County, they put me in the hole and left me in the hole. I'm in the jail for an hour after I got fingerprinted and took my picture. They put me in the hole and left me in the hole for 6 months, and I ain't even seen nobody or talked to nobody. But then when I got out of the hole, I realized that there's two strongest things that was going on in that city where I was at in Thomaston was the Rollin and the Gang Disciples. So basically, you know what I mean? They feared that I would have some kind of influence. I don't know, their impression would be something else. Because once again, you know, these people make up their own versions of who you are. But anyway, I know that we run out of time. I don't want to keep on talking. Run your time. I'll run you out of time. You might have another question.
Oh no, we about to we gotta wrap it up. But till next time, man. S. Wiggins, man, Ronald, Rollin what he does. Hey,
Okay.
shout out to Reaper and 20s in Miami, Yayo, all y'all. You already know.
And I have to say, I gotta say, man, rest in peace to my boy Shannon, man.
Yeah, rest in peace, Shannon.
I lost a lot of people since I've been down on this trip right here, man. I was with Shannon about a couple weeks before I went to jail. Him and the homeboy Baby Jimbo, who died since I've been incarcerated also. But rest in peace to Shannon, Baby Jimbo, Big Reef, Westside Tone, and everybody else, whoever else I might have forgotten. Because there's been quite a few that have passed since I've been here, man. My love and respect to everybody, man. Love and respect to everybody, man. To my people in West Adams, I love y'all, man. I will be back, and I will be some good stuff going on when I do come back. Because y'all know my heart. Y'all know what I'm bringing.
And shouts out to my boy Joker for the LA 20s. I ain't gonna say your real name out here. You feel me? You already know. All right, OG, we out of here.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yup.